At the Council Bluffs facility, we do service cranes and mechanic bodies. The mechanic bodies start out with the raw material coming in on our north side, goes into our shakeout areas, which is when it's determined for each one of the customers. From there, it gets pushed out into either the forming area or into our robotic weld area, where the robotic weld area will do the underframe and the crane box. Gets pushed out into the weld assembly lines. The forming material will then mate up with the underframe and the crane box, and that's the start of our manual welding processes. We have 3 manual weld lines. They work pretty much cross-functional with any of the body designs or body types that we can do, just depending on the mix and the volume of each one of them, on which one of those weld lines that they go down. After they're done there, we move them into our e-coat process, which is anywhere from 8 to 11 different dip tanks that they drop into, where they're cleaning the material, they're cleaning the metal, they're pre-treating it, and then they're putting it into the e-coat prime. From there, it's going to go through a series of different ovens so that things are cured out. It's going to drop down into our top coat booths. That's where it gets the color assigned to it, and they'll do the spray for the top coat. When they're finished with that, again goes through ovens, gets cured out, and then moves on to our Line X application. From that point, paint is pretty much done with it. It's going to move out into our final assembly. In final assembly, we're upfitting it so it's basically ready to be put on a chassis. We're upfitting any of the kits. We're putting any of the hydraulic lines on there. We're putting all of the electrical lines for lights in the boxes, and then we're also putting any additional options that have been requested, like compressors being installed prior to going out. At that point, it's out in the yard. It gets married up with the crane that's ordered with it. These will be brought into the building, into our shipping area, where they're aligned with, depending on customer destination. Cranes are put inside the body, but they are not attached, so that the smaller shops can pull the crane out and then the body off of the trailers without having to have too much overhead support to do that. Cranes is fairly similar, but a lot simpler. A lot of that material comes in. We have one specific area. There's no additional welding that's being done for the cranes. There's just inspections. They're going through paint for the columns, and then they're marrying back up in the assembly area, where they're putting the boom and the column together, dunnaging it, putting the kit with it, and sending it outside again to align with the body when it's ready to get shipped out.